Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and we're gonna go through and we're gonna do a garden tour today because there's a lot that's growing and a lot that's like getting really big. So I'm excited about all that. So today you guys are gonna see like a lot of like things in different stages of my garden because I like to continuously plant things all throughout the winter so that then by the time I get to the spring I have things that are coming out and I can put in the summer garden, and then I still have like the late winter early spring stuff that's coming in and it's in full bloom. So this is kind of how I kind of continuously garden things so that then I'm getting stuff from pretty much like October, November, all the way up until like June, July. So I'm really excited about my garden and how it's looking right now. It has been a journey over this summer and it's finally starting to like have that woosah moment where you can just come back here and say, oh, I'm gonna make this for dinner, like Malabar spinach. So first up is my herb bed. I always love to start with my herb bed because I use this bed most of all. I come out and I just grab whatever I'm cooking, I grab whatever will complement it. So I have my chives here that I will be making chive butter. I got asked to show how I do that, so that'll probably be tomorrow's video. And then I have some marjoram here that I have going in the dehydrator to dry. I have oregano, I have some thyme right there too as well. And then I have some rosemary. I looked forever for this rosemary. This one is a Tuscan blue rosemary. I actually found it at a grocery store. It's like this one, but I couldn't find, that was last that I could find of that one. And then this is a different type of rosemary. I don't know the name of it, but it's different. This one is easier when you guys are like using it to like season like fish, or I make steak with our rosemary too as well, and it just holds up better to where it doesn't come off of the leaves or come off of the stem. And then I have some basil here. I have a sage. I have a golden sage. I have a purple sage. I have parsley, and then the two rosemaries. The sun is going to start getting bright out here because it's going down. But if you guys plant nothing in your garden, plant yourself an herb bed, because herbs provide you with so many medicinal properties and they're a good way to season your food without having all of like the bottle seasonings that have a bunch of preservatives and different things like that in there. And they're really expensive in a grocery store. A little sprig of rosemary would cost you somewhere around $2 when you can just put it in your garden and grow it continuously. So more herbs on my wall here. I have a mojito mint, which I've grown this one like 2 years ago. I love this one. It holds up a lot better than like regular peppermint. So I do love mojito mint. And then this one is a peppermint. And then I have lemon thyme, I believe. Smelling it. Yep, these ones are lemon thyme, Thai basil, purple basil, and then this one is a Greek thyme. And then down here, guys, is my little beauty coming up. Look at that. I have my hoop on it because I just got something in the mail that I will share with you guys later this week. And I'm pretty excited. It finally came in from Amazon, and I'm going to get this bed completely finished. But I have my spinach, I have red romaine lettuce, and then that one, I forgot what the name of that one is. If you guys know what the name of this lettuce is, put it down in the comments below, because I forgot what it's called. And then I have some collard greens, which are looking very nice. I was hoping to have these by Thanksgiving, but of course, you know, we had a rat issue, so we'll just have them by Hanukkah. And then I planted some Swiss chard in here. If you guys can see, it's very, very small. I have one here, one there, and then one over there. This space I'm planting some mustard greens just in a row right here, so those are growing inside right now. I just started the seeds. Then I have some kale, and I have a red Russian kale, I think is what it's called, and that one's actually pretty good. It tastes different. Usually I rarely get anything other than the curly blue, or curly, I think it's called curly blue kale, but this red one is pretty good too as well. And then I have one surviving cabbage that's now starting to look very nice. Like, it's looking very nice and very healthy. I have a random radish there, and I also have a artichoke that won't die. And then over here, I still have my carrots growing. So let's peek up and see if anything is sprouted yet. Nope, nothing sprouted yet. I have the paper towel in there to keep them moist. I kind of feel like I have the artichoke in the wrong spot. I feel like I should have put it in a bed that goes directly into the ground, because that bed is on top of my paved bricks, so the roots can only go so deep. So it's like it grows and then it dies. Or it could have just been I planted it at the wrong time, but I still haven't gotten any artichoke. So we'll see. But I do wish it was in a different spot, and I completely thought I took that artichoke completely up and it grew back. So obviously the roots are a lot deeper than I thought, and it's not something I can move. So we're just gonna leave it there. The plan for this week is going to be to get these pots along the wall planted out with just different seeds in them, and then also get the flowers that are going in there into underneath the grow lights inside. But over here I have my bush tomato, which it is starting to getting a lot of flowers on it, so I'm hoping for some tomatoes soon. I have the eggplant, which is already starting to produce some eggplants. I have the shishito peppers, which we are on our second harvest of shishito peppers now. This is delicious, my favorite time of year. And then I have some parsley, and I have a jalapeno pepper plant that's growing back, and then those two are jalapeno pepper plants too as well. And look guys, I actually have a little jalapeno on it already. So excited. And then I have more tomato plants. These ones are vining tomato plants, and this one is a sugar or super sweet. So I think this one is a cherry tomato plant. So hopefully I want them to grow all the way up this trellis here. And then I have my eggplant. So for those of you guys that said, girl, the eggplant is dead, just rip it up and call it a day, this is why you don't do that, because this eggplant went through it over the summer, and as you guys can see, it's grown back completely wonky, but it has grown back, and now it's already starting to flower. So it's already starting to produce eggplants. We have an eggplant over there too as well. So don't cut out your eggplant, guys. Just keep pruning it, keep pulling the bad leaves off of it, and it will grow back. I'm telling you, this is a prime example. It survived 45 days of over 110 degree heat, and this one still made it. And then I have some random radishes over here too that look like they're finally starting to root up. These ones are planted really early. I let my goddaughter plant them, and yeah, I think they're finally starting to root up though. So during the summer, I know it's really hard for you to be looking at your desert garden like everything is completely burned up and destroyed, but your pepper plants and your eggplants will make it. Just prune them back, put some shade cloth over them, and let them do their thing. They're kind of in a hibernation mode, and once they come out of that hibernation mode, you'll probably see a bunch of pest damage. Don't douse it with a bunch of different things. Let the pest naturally just kind of prune it back so that the pests are naturally growing away, and keep it healthy, keep it fertilized, keep it watered, and it will grow back. I promise you, it will grow back. As you can see, that eggplant was covered in those little woolly aphid looking things, and I just kept hosing them off and kept pruning back the bad leaves, and now I'm gonna have eggplant. So it's worth it. Don't give up on it. I know it'll probably be like 100 degrees before we know it, and it'll all look burned up, but it'll be okay. So we have our next shishito plant over here. I'm gonna start putting some new herbs in those little pots. I just have them growing inside. And then, I don't think these are gonna make it, guys. These are my Chinese red long noodle beans that I was trying to go during the winter, but those are definitely gonna be a summer crop. And I have some bush beans. Those are my last 3 surviving bush beans. Actually, I have one across the way in the pot, but the last one, so we're gonna see what they do. I have cabbage. Oh, look at that. Malabar spinach, looking beautiful and nice as ever. Look at this, guys. This is me having ADD because look how beautiful it is just vining up this little thing. But I already have the cabbage that these ones I grew inside. And I plant things out pretty early during this time, so once it gets a leaf or two, I put it outside. So this is cabbage, and this one right here is cabbage. So those have some time before this one starts invading their space. So I'm just gonna let them do what they do. And then I have some big beef tomatoes. They are starting to look very nicely. I pruned them, and so you guys can watch that video to see how I pruned them. And now they're looking a lot healthier. And then I have some yellow bell wonders, and those ones are peppers. So those are starting to get some flowers on them too as well. And then look at that Malabar spinach plant. Now that is a thing of beauty. So one thing I'd really like to mention too is that I have really ramped up on my fertilization schedule and keeping up on it. Right now I have so much going on in my garden, and I'm only going to be adding more and more and more and more and more. So all of these vegetables that have really big roots and need that food in order for them to grow, I want to make sure that they have that. I already grow most of my garden in compost. Some of the pots I have a mixture of compost and potting soil, just because it's in a pot and the potting soil has I think it's called perlite, to be able to help it hold water a little bit better. But compost is like my main thing that I grow in, so it has that food source. Also, I have a ton of worms. I have an in-ground worm bed in order for the worms to be going throughout my garden. So I get a lot of worm castings too in my garden. Sometimes if you dig through certain parts of my garden where I've just pulled out plants, you will see that it looks more like worm poop than it does dirt, which I think is great because then I don't have to go buy the worm poop. It's just already in there. So I feed my garden regularly. I do it once a week. Every Wednesday is when I do my fertilization, and I do it early in the morning, and then I let the sun, I make sure I rinse off the leaves too as well. So don't want to put fish fertilizer on your leaves and leave that on there because it will still kind of bake in the desert sun. So I do rinse off the leaves, and then I let the sun just dry it out and let the leaves kind of dry all day. Otherwise, I normally just run water at the base of the plants when I'm watering. So rinsing off the leaves is pretty much the only time I do that, and I do it earlier so that then the garden has enough time to dry. So that's just a fun fact. So over here, this is what I'm talking about there being a lot of plants in one bed. So I have a tomato plant going on this arch trellis here. I have my broccoli plants. I have 4 on this side, and then I also have 4 on this side. And then right in the center of the broccoli plants, I have cilantro, and I have another one right there. And then also right in the middle of the bed, I have this really big tomato plant as well that's growing. And then to top everything off, I have my snow peas, which, let me move over here closer. I'm starting to get more snow peas popping through finally. So this won't be the only one. And then also over here, I just planted the turnip greens, so you can see little turnip greens right there. And then over here, I also have some scarlet runner beans that hopefully they will be popping up pretty soon too as well. So in that one bed, there is a lot going on down there, and it's only going to get bigger. My broccoli plants last year got up to about here. The year before that, they were up to about there. That's when I realized I can eat broccoli leaves, and then I cut them way back all the time because we made a lot of stir fry with broccoli leaves. You know, it's funny that I say that because I asked you guys in a poll on our community tab if you guys would like to see a video on how I save money with my garden and being in a small space garden, and you guys 100% said yes. So later on this week, I'm gonna make a video about that and just different vegetables that I choose to plant in my small space garden that saves us a lot of money, because we've saved a lot of money by being able to grow our own vegetables back here, especially since we are on a fresh diet, meaning that we eat fresh vegetables pretty much every day. So this space is getting prettier and prettier. Pretty much this is just my space for the bees, and when I find pretty plants that I like, pretty flowers. So this one, I have no clue what these flowers are, guys. The only thing I know what they are snapdragons back there, because snapdragons are one of my favorite flowers other than mums. And this one is that, whatever that is. So I've just been, when I find plants or find flowers, I just kind of add them to here. None of these I started from seeds. All of these I bought just as starts, and I just think they're beautiful. I did get asked to start a video on how to start flower seeds. I haven't started a lot of flower seeds, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it just so that, you know, you guys can grow flowers with me. And then I have my lemongrass that I'm gonna soon be taking it a head off of it and giving it a little bit of a haircut, because it's going to be time to kind of do that before it gets too torn up, because as you guys can see, it's getting torn up by the wind and it being a little bit dry and needing to be cut. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a haircut. And then my catnip over here is doing quite well. Over here, it did get eaten a little bit by a cat that was back here. But that's good news. That means if there's a cat back here, there are not any rodents back here. And then we have dill. Now I am not going to need 4 dill plants. I know this ahead of time, but all of them germinated, so I just put them in there because this dill, our dill last year grew like a weed, like an actual weed, and we had dill forever. And we still have some in the freezer too as well. And then these Chinese red long noodle beans, once again, I don't know if they're going to make it. The weather's getting too cold for them, so if anything, we'll just plant them in the spring. And then finally, we have my dragon tail radishes, which I've planted all of those out, and I'm just going to let those get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm excited for these because I've never tasted these before, and it's going to be pretty cool eating the pods instead of the roots. Then over here, this is the tomato plant that I transplanted. So it looks a little bit beat up right now because it's not so used to the direct sun, so it's still getting used to that. So by the end of the day, before the sun completely goes down, this will be perked up like the rest of the tomato plants, but it's slowly but surely starting to do that. I am kind of hiding it with this chair right here to give it a little bit of break in the hottest part of the day, but I want it to get used to the sun. And then I have one lone bean plant that actually is looking pretty good. So we'll see if that does anything. Also over here we have the lemon balm. I'm going to take this lemon balm actually probably today and let the new ones kind of grow in. It's getting a little cold for the lemon balm, so it's starting to kind of brown up here. And then I need to plant some more seeds in here because I only have one left from the rodents eating it. So those dragon tail radishes are going to be my experiment this year. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I actually have a lot more space when I start actually putting things out and I plan it and I really sit down and I plan, okay, this should go here, this should go here. I can fit a lot of stuff back here. So I thought to myself, I can fit an experiment. We also got some bok choy over here growing next to the tree. So we have bok choy right here on the top, and then I'm starting the next round to go down here below it too as well. Same thing with this little guy. We have lettuce. This is a red romaine lettuce, and then this one is a bronze Mediterranean? I don't know how to say that. Lettuce. One of our viewers sent that to me, so I'm excited to see that grow. Now, my tree, on the other hand, was starting to look a little sparse. It was starting to drop a lot of its leaves, and I went and I consulted the nursery to see what's going on with it, and they told me that I probably wasn't watering it enough. I backed down watering my tree, so I was watering it like I water my garden, and they said that was not enough. And then they also said I needed to feed it a citrus fertilizer. So I got a citrus fertilizer, which are these little pellets that are in here, and then I am starting to water it every day again. And so hopefully that'll green back up and it'll finish ripening all the fruit that's on here, because there's actually a lot of limes on here that I want to be done so that then we can make fish. So in the little sea of chicken wire over here, which I have to put away and do stuff with, I have my aloe vera plant. This is the last plant back here in my garden, and it is nice. I'm going to actually start using this one It's given me some little pups growing in here too as well, so I think that it's going to really fill out this pot. So that is it, guys, for my small space desert garden in the middle of the city. I hope you guys enjoyed my tour. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we are getting so close to having our first 1,500 subscribers. I think we're 10 away right now. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that because it really helps out our channel. And thank you guys that have been subscribed and been watching me since I first started my YouTube channel. I can't believe that it's already been almost a year and a half now that I've been doing my gardening channel or my gardening videos. So I'm really excited about that. Also, thank you guys for all the happy anniversary messages that we got in our community tab. That really means a lot to us, and on our wedding video, because our wedding video is on our YouTube channel too for our family. So thank you guys for all of those happy anniversaries. That's very sweet and it means a lot to us. But until next time, make sure you guys grow yourselves a garden because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.